All right, I'm just gonna start this episode off just sounding like a disappointed teacher. I'm disappointed in all of y'all, and I don't say y'all all the time. I try to keep it out of my, you know, vocabulary. Um, but yeah, like 80% of you aren't subscribed. Yeah, 80% of you. I'm looking right at you. This is your fault. All right, so subscribe or leave a like or do both. I'm not giving you an option to not do one or the other. That's just how it's going to be. Do one or the other. That's all I'm saying. All right, well, yeah, so we start off with this rocket. It is quite obviously a communications rocket that I am putting in orbit around the Mun for communication purposes. I think I already said that. Sorry, I've been awake for over 24 hours now. I had to do like a whole psychology paper. Yeah, anyway, this is for communicating for ground stations on the Mun, because we will have those in the near future, and technically we already have one that two of our Kerbals are stuck on, and we need to go and retrieve them. Yeah. So yeah, we need to do that, but we're not doing that yet. We will do that in the near future. So anyway, we just need to put this satellite in orbit of the Mun, and everything will be good. Yeah, it's not too much there's like not too much for this mission. Yeah, it's like I just did my my correction burn, or not a correction burn. I am like losing it right now. Yeah, now I just need to do a circularization burn at Apple Apps, and there we go. Now it's circularized. My mission here is done. All I have to do is point my target at Kerbin or whatever, and there we go. Perfect connection. Okay. So, we are now going to launch our second mission after I stop just messing with this mission. All right, here's the second mission. This one is Valentina Kerman, and I'm pretty sure it's to the surface of the Mun using one of the old. Well, first of all, this is using one of the old what are they called? The Flagler rockets. And yeah, we're basically phasing those out right now. And actually in the next episode, or later on in this episode, they will be phased out, I believe. Yeah, so yeah, they weren't like the best when it came to like Delta V and all of that, so they always tended to cause problems, and I almost killed Valentina on this mission. Yeah. Yeah, but while we're going to the Mun, as we've gone to the Mun thousands of times before, well, not thousands, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my week, because it's been kind of crazy. So, yeah, like I haven't I've been keeping close to like this, like at least 2 times a week, 3 times a week tight schedule for the last couple of weeks. But as of this week, I haven't been able to do it. As you can tell, I sound sick as fuck. Don't worry, was not the Rhone. I got tested. But yeah, I've been just like under the weather. And then on top of that, like on Wednesday, I went to a concert. I went to Beartooth and Wage War. Wage War is from my hometown. So yeah, like they're kind of like, it was like an awesome thing to watch. Then I've just been a fan of Beartooth since like 2015. So I've been a fan of them for a while. Um, yeah. And then what did I do last weekend? Oh yeah, no, last weekend all I did was work. But the week before that, I didn't really do anything. I mean, I went to a tailgate for my college, and then earlier that week I went to Joe Rogan, who is, that whole thing was funny as fuck. It was an amazing comedy thing. It was just awesome. Like the acts that he brought on before were hilarious as well. Oh yeah, here's where I almost killed Valentina because I had almost no propellant to land on the surface. I started using the monopropellant to help slow myself down. Yeah, I started getting really worried about it. Yeah. It was quite scary. But, you know, made it safe and sound. Actually, we did land using monopropellant. So, yeah. Not what was planned. Yeah, then I did all of the science and all of this, and then my dumb ass leaves this motherfucking ship with all the science in it on the surface. Like, you'll just see it in a second. So I'm gonna blame it all on Val. Yeah, I'm gonna blame it all on Val. Val was feeling under the weather. You know, space sickness is a problem. Just forgot to do a simple thing. It's okay, we only had to launch another multi-$1,000 mission afterwards. But yeah, look, I just hopped in and then flew off without any of my science. Yeah, that was great. It was one of the things that I improved on the next, I don't think the next rocket, but then the next iteration of the lander after that is that it could collect the science. Yeah, which greatly helps what I can do. Yeah. So then from here, I had to meet back up with the capsule, so I had to like make a rendezvous and all of that. It was quite the pain. Yeah. So that's about it. Like for this section, like so I'll just continue to what I was talking about earlier. So I went to, and then earlier that week went to Young Gravy and Fetty Wap because they did like a thing at my college, which was awesome. And then earlier that week I went to like this comedy thing with several SNL like people, like they were like doing stand up, and then it was really good, but I think her name's Heidi Gardner, just absolutely horrendous. The other two were funny, but like she was just, her jokes were so bad, they like weren't even close to good. And like it was just so awkward because like the whole crowd was just silent. It was weird. Yeah, that right there is when I realized that I had forgotten the science when only 2 things transferred over, when I went outside and was like, oh fuck. Yeah. And then the week before that I went to an All Time Low concert. Yeah, I've had a pretty eventful week. Or several weeks. Yeah. All right, so yeah, here's what I do. I always slow myself down before I hit the atmosphere, just so I'm not hitting it too hard and I'm not just burning to death. Yeah, it's probably not the best idea to burn to death on re-entry, especially when, you know, you have only 2 scientific experiments when you're bringing back. I also tried to land inside the, I wanted to land inside the river, but I just couldn't angle my pod to get it in there. So So yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer, but you know, we came down close enough. Yeah, in the mountains nearby. Yeah, so I mean, we didn't get a whole lot on this mission, but like we were getting there. Yeah, so this is my redesigned version of it. This is the Flagler 2. So yeah, this is just me building it. It was meant to have far more Delta V built into it. And it also just looks a little bit nicer. Did I leave this? I don't think I left that ring on there. Yeah. But, so yeah, I have noticed some small, like slight stability issues when it goes up, but other than that, it's mostly fine. There will be a flag, and it's not because of the Flagler, it's because of the old stage was the Ringling, so I'm gonna have to come up with a new name for that. And it might just be, I guess I could call it, like the Hemingway upper stage. Yeah, I think I'll call it the Hemingway upper stage. Yeah, so it's the Hemingway upper stage. It's just kind of, it's just really rickety. It like swings around, and it's because I'm using like Mark II parts and then also Mark I parts. So it's not exactly the most stable design. Yeah. So I need to fix that. I need to get better parts, like just put better parts on it. Just to make sure it stays stable. But for the most part, I do like how the rocket has turned out. Yeah. And the Flagler 2 is actually really impressive. It is a substantial heavy lift, not heavy lift, but I'd say medium heavy lift launch vehicle. It's not good enough to launch some of like the really heavy stuff that I'm about to send up on there. But it's pretty good. Yeah. Also, once the once we've ditched the Flagler, like all of the stability issues are fine because the craft is now small enough that it's not like its center of mass isn't like fluctuating as much. So that's kind of nice. Yeah. I didn't realize how slow this design phase was. I am so sorry about that. Yeah, I'm actually going to stop it here, and I'm going to cut out the rest of the design phase, because this is actually pretty boring. All you see now for me is just like last minute tweaks. Okay, now we're on the pad, and we're actually going to the moon now, or the mun now, to get the science that we just definitely left there. Also, this time around, because we had the larger command pod, we can now have 2 Kerbals on board, which makes docking a hell of a lot easier for me. Like, you have no clue. Yeah. Also, one thing that's really cool about this this rocket is that most of the rocket stays on for most of the trip. It's actually like it gets into orbit by the second stage, I believe. Yeah, it's like fully into orbit by the second stage. And yeah, like you can still use the second stage for like angling your orbit. We're actually really close to making SSTOs now. And not like, and also I need to lower the force on that eject right there, because like it's way too high and it keeps launching us around. And I made the mistake of making these like the RCS that's on the command pod like way too soft. Like it needs to be a much harder RCS. But as of right now, it's fine. These are all things that will go on to the whatever comes after the Hemingway upper stage. Yeah. But I also added these like really nice blue accent marks and stuff like that, so it so like when you're on the ground or when you're docking, you can see the other craft in like the blue light and stuff like that. And I thought it was just a cool like accent thing. Also, you can see right here that it spends most of the, actually I think it, yeah, no, you can get all the way to the Mun, like into the Mun sphere of influence with the first stage, which I think is awesome. And actually you can get almost entirely circularized around the Mun, and actually I believe completely circularized. If I'm not, it's just not circular, it's just like an incredibly elliptical orbit. So yeah, it's not the best orbit, but like the second stage can get you a pretty far away, which is one of the nicest things about the engine. Yeah, those they're not called poodles. I think it's mainsail engines. No, it's the poodle engine. Yeah, they're just absolutely monsters of an engine, and I was able to put like 5 down there or some shit like that. Yeah, it worked incredibly well. Yeah. So yeah, now I'm actually having Valentina fly down to the surface to fix her mistake. Hopefully she has the space sickness pills this time. And yeah, we're just landing in a similar biome. Actually, did we land in a similar? No, we landed in a completely different biome. Okay. Fair. So yeah, we can actually return to that old site and pick up the data that's on that craft. Which, I mean, that should be the focus of a future mission. Who's to say it shouldn't be? Maybe I'll send, what is his name? Siegfried or something like that? Siegfried out there and retrieve the science. Yeah. Also, I landed this. Yeah. And it's, yeah. I landed it and the lights look nice. I did all the science. I then went down there and I packed it all up. But not yet. I haven't done that yet. Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna hop out, or not he, she's gonna hop out of the craft soon, I believe, or at least should. Yeah, to get all the science. Like, I almost launched it again and I was like, oh lord, I'm a fool. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Luna. I believe that says 5 landing. Yeah, so we've done quite a few missions out here. Like, we really need to start getting further out into the solar system, but like, we are still constrained by the electronics of our time. So like, we still have some research that we need to do. But for the most part, we are getting almost everything done. We will have to launch some quote unquote weather satellites to gain some more science, but what the other countries on Kerbin don't know won't hurt them. Yeah. Yeah. We made it into orbit. I did some more like orbital scans and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like there's not much more left to this episode, other than to say that like I can just show off like the new way I docked. I also need to put like solar panels, or like 1 or 2 solar panels on the command pod itself, because it's just it runs out of energy really quickly. And yeah, I believe it did so right here. Yeah, it did. So I had to like get this command pod orientated towards it and all of that business. Like, yeah, yeah, there was some things that I needed to fix about it, but like I have fixed a good portion of it. So that's pretty nice. So like I aimed the command pod towards it, which I believe I'm doing in just a moment. And I tried to rectify the distance between the two, and then yeah, I lined them up, and then Matt Lown easy way to dock, done. Like it was pretty good. And yeah, all that's left now is to take the experiments out, get over, and then hop back inside the command module, and yeah, just head back home. I do love the new capsule that I'm using, the orbital capsule. It looks a lot like the old Apollo capsule, I believe. Well, not really, but it kind of does. I just think it looks nice. Yeah, that's all I think. And then yeah, we get our like re-entry velocity or whatever, the re-entry vector or something like that. Yeah, from the MUN. Yeah, and then I of course slow it down so that we're not, you know, hitting the atmosphere at like Mach 50. Instead we're hitting it at more like Mach 15. So yeah. Yeah, like it slowed us down pretty quickly. And that is literally all for this video. So yeah, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.